trying to place things that I've seen this tone of music in before. The biggest one that comes to mind is Valhalla, which the whole red dust, end of days on Earth kind of makes the titular Los Angeles whatnot. Kind of gives it that the color tones of a game like that. The other thing that came to mind is Hotline Miami, but I think this general tone of music fits Valhalla better. Anyway, we're back here in Big Marv Hemorrhoid's office. I'm already pretty familiar with the trial itself and the police's investigation. I was wondering if you could tell me about what you found out.
Found out?
Oh, nothing. My boy, you certainly have a gift for sticking your nose in peculiar places, don't you?
Pardon?
Found out. You wish to know what I found out. I found out nothing. Nada. Zilch. I couldn't get past the lobby of that building. Examining the scene where the body was found? Fat chance. It was all one big mess. A mess, you hear? To think someone like Will Powers would end up on the government's radar.
Government?
Whoa, wait a minute.
The government?
I have said too much. Actually, the conversation's just getting started. What do you mean, government?
Well,
The investigation, you see, wasn't handled by the police department. It was handled by the government's Special Investigative Division. Interesting. Don't ask me which one. I'm not allowed to say, I'm afraid. But it's new. And unprecedented. At least in this country. That is concerning. It's very concerning. Nobody was allowed to interfere. Whatever info I got was the one the police ended up with. And well, you're aware of how that ended up, aren't you? So I would very much doubt you'll have luck in a retrial. I would imagine they were pretty thorough, wouldn't you? Thorough in what? Investigating or setting up Will to take the fall? All this secrecy. I prefer not to discuss this any further. Mainly because I genuinely know nothing more on the matter. But you still defended Mr. Powers in that situation? Oh, I tried. I suppose I did duty, of course. Yes, a duty to give him a fair trial. Why didn't you file a complaint? For a lot of good it would have done. Again, I simply wasn't in a position to do so. You can't be serious. Things have changed, Nicky boy. The whole trial is starting to sound more and more like a sham. The defense didn't know anything, the police don't know anything. Who did know something? Right. I'll take that as my cue to leave, then. A cue was given quite a while ago, you know. Oh, okay, nothing more to talk about. Oh. Oh. The ultimate result of the resurgence. When the earthquakes began, nobody knew what it was all leading to. When the ground started to crack and buildings began to topple over, I think most people expected for the entire city to be swallowed whole by some unknown entity. Instead, they emerged. What? The pyramids. What? And with them, the storms came. The pyramids? Nobody knows for sure how to access them. They're starting to appear all over the world. Major cities, small towns. They're not playing favorites. What? Pyramids? Sometimes it feels like it's not over. That the resurgence still has another step to it. Sudden alien... There's something else inside those things waiting to come out, and when it does, what will happen? The door out. I should go there. Some unused office space, but it looks fit. Well, half true at least. I remember a couple of years back, these were definitely being used. Even after there are occupants left. I'm willing to bet you've got a few homeless people holed up in there. Landlords probably don't mind. Not like they can expect for anyone to willingly come back here to open a business. Oh. It's fucking giant pyramids. Yes. Holy shit. I had my mind settled on the end of the world, natural disasters running wild, and all that, and I'm actually really down with the aesthetic and the setting here. But I wasn't expecting giant pyramids. Holy fuck. Gumshoe? Got anything, mate? Apartment building? Can I run into someone here? Nope. Can I go home? 2 days earlier. Right in co-law offices. Something inside. Is there something inside? Who's here? I'm sorry to just barge in like this. I have to say, you don't take care of the place, do ya? Who is this? I cleared the window a bit. Hope you don't mind. Sorry, I just got back in town. I'm also sorry because we're currently closed. Oh? I don't know about that. Oh! You're Power's attorney, aren't you? I overheard you talking with a security guard. Huh? Well, wait a minute. Well, talking isn't really the right choice of words. You can never really talk with those goons. They just parrot the same nonsense over and over again. It's how they're at their best. Kills your motivation to press them further. Hey, you're... But how? Alicia Chambers. Nice to meet you. No. No, that's not your name. What? Wait, what? There's really no need for any introductions, is there? We've met before. What? I was worried you wouldn't remember me. Oh. I couldn't forget even if I wanted to. You really are Adrian Andrews. Good. What? Good. Seeing as how you ruined my life. Whoa. I know. Actually, no. No, you didn't. That's not fair. Oh. This is... Adrian Andrews when the world ended after Justice for All. She doesn't get her own comeback at the Lordly Tailor in the Mask to Mask case. So she would be kind of bitter, huh? That makes sense. Actually, no. No, you didn't. That's not fair. Madame Garde ruined my life. You were just his pawn, like I was, like Celeste was. I'm sorry for how everything ended. There's nothing more to be said. Huh. Did we not win that case? I originally had my mind set that the person on the phone was Maya, but did we not win the case? Miss Andrews. While we're able to maintain some level of privacy in this office, I'll ask right now that you don't use that name in public. It'd make my position more complicated than it already is. Well then, are you going to just stare at me like a deer in headlights, or are we going to talk? Wow. I was not expecting... Alright. Small update. Grossberg defense attorney that represented Powers during the trial. My mentor's mentor, as silly as it sounds. Adrian Andrews, a woman that was convicted because of my failure. Ooh. So we did lose the case in Farewell My Turnabout. Shit. I wasn't expecting that. I had my mind convinced that we somehow just good ending, but I guess it's still possible that we bad ended, but somehow Maya got returned to us. Let's ask about Adrian. I know. You must have all sorts of questions. Should I take a guess which one bugs you the most? How about... How are you not in prison? That's the one. After Engard's trial. I'm perfectly aware of what happened, thanks. My verdict was guilty, and I got sent to prison. As far as the world is concerned, that's exactly where I am now. What? And yet... I'm standing in front of you. What a conundrum. I'm currently living in the very same building I'm assuming you're trying to get into. In fact, I live down the hall from Mr. Powers. What a world, right? The question still remains. Right. How am I not in prison? Say, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Imagine a building. Its windows are all barred. Its rooms small and near empty. The people living in them are only occasionally allowed to go out and about. If they're not back in time, a search party is sent after them. The building is surrounded by guards. Quick, what building am I talking about? The apartment building. A prison. Oh, that was quick. Well done. Yes, the building I'm talking about is a prison. It's also the apartment building I'm living in. Ah. Wait, what? Your hearing couldn't have gotten that bad, right? That apartment building isn't there for housing. It's a special kind of prison. Ooh. Ooh. That was just for me presenting shit. Nope. Most definitely. Really? Signs point to yes. What is it? Outlook not so good. No way. Are you sure? Very doubtful. Are you just a magic 8-ball? So you don't know anything about this. Reply hazy. Try again. You are doing the magic 8-ball thing. Holy shit. That's just a magic 8-ball response. Wonderful little things, aren't they? I recently got myself one. Helped quite a bit in day-to-day interactions. I love it. I love it. What do you know about Grace? I remember hearing Powers had a wife. Never met her myself, though. Okay, do you know Gumshoe? Almost definitely. Signs point to yes. That look not so good. Very doubtful. That's good. That's good. I love it. What about Will? That's right. He's the reason I've come to talk to you. Out of curiosity, why did you decide to help him? I guess I just wanted to help someone in need. And why again couldn't you do the same for me? I needed help too. I needed an attorney. You would have never accepted me. Because of me, that... You never even so much as bothered to speak to me. I felt ashamed. You still should, then. Yeah. What about my attorney's badge? No offense, but get that thing out of my face. I've seen enough of those at this point to last a lifetime. Sorry. There was a time when my life wasn't... this. A time when I still had her, Celeste. You know, in retrospect, I don't think she cared about me as much as I did about her. That's okay, you know? I was happy. I'm sure she was happy to have you as her protégé. Don't. The memories of her have been tainted by so many people at this point. I don't need you to tell me how she must have felt. You never met her. You never knew her. Because of those men, nobody ever will. Alright, let's talk. Oh, okay, so this is literally... So presenting her own profile to her has the same effect as the just talking. Okay, that was the same dialogue tree. Let's ask about the prison. A prison located right in the middle of the city. Its prisoners all have jobs and are allowed out in the general public. Of course, you never know who we were. We were pulled from our previous cells and given new identities. Prisoners, murderers, usually, with good behavior, who are believed are still capable of contributing to society in meaningful ways, are placed in this specially prepared apartment building. Wow. Where they remain until further notice. You are aware, I'm sure, of the current state of things. A large number of the population is now gone for one reason or another. Now, cheap labor is still around, dwindling but present. The real problem is that respectable positions in society have now been left vacant. Doctors, nurses, lawyers, managers, even secretaries. The roof is beginning to show its cracks, if you catch my drift. Well, some people high up had themselves an idea and founded a new secret branch. God knows what they go by. They're the ones in charge of this. They figured that quite a few of the aforementioned positions could be filled by people awaiting their execution. They said, what a waste. And here we are. My name, as I've told you, is now Alicia Chambers. Wake up at 7 a.m., and after I am to go to my workplace, serving as a secretary for an important CEO. I am to do my work until 4 p.m. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'm free to do as I wish, provided I don't attract any attention. Disguises are advised, but optional. The streets are relatively quiet, and you generally just want to move as fast as possible. But I have to return by 7, no exceptions. Breakfast and dinner are brought to my room through a food slot in my door. That's the food slot that we mentioned. Charming, isn't it? This is some kind of weird joke, right? Oh, it's no joke. The landlord of the building, he's the warden. He monitors all our activities. To think I once thought that he was being set up for something. Man, that pendulum has swung around. Very, very far. Very far. Each of us has a microchip planted in the backs of our head. Wow, holy shit. Location tracking. They know, for instance, that I'm in your office right now. Thankfully, they've abstained from planting any bugs on my person. And yes, I checked. Thoroughly. Alright, can you tell me about Will? Wait. This is insane. You're saying the apartment building is a prison? Mr. Powers lived there, and he isn't a criminal. At least he wouldn't have been considered one at the time. He certainly is now. Supposedly. An excellent observation. To tell the truth, I have no clue why the warden wanted him there. But I know it's not because he did anything wrong. At least that's the gist I got from talking with Powers himself. I know how he got there, though. The warden, you see, has certain perks, besides just monitoring. He'd been given executive power over a certain group of high-ranking officials, along with a handful of, investigators, as they call themselves. The reason for that is to, on paper, make prison transfers run smoothly. Warden picks who they want for the prison, the officials make sure it's quiet, while the investigators do the legwork, making sure the papers are never seen and getting the prisoner. As it turns out, this process can be exploited. The investigators can, for instance, be used to look into anyone's background. Anyone's. People who aren't even in prison. What do you know? Everyone's got something to hide. If people aren't careful in covering their tracks, the investigators will find out what that is. And the warden gets in touch with this very much out-of-prison individual and says, "You're no criminal, sure. If you don't want everyone to know this piece of information, then move to my building. Willingly. Make some excuse." Ah, that's exactly what happens. Blackmail. This person becomes no different from the convicted criminals. At this point, I'm almost convinced that the, And yes, that includes the tracking chip. But that's blackmail. No, a flat-out human rights violation. Boy, putting that law degree on display, aren't we? Why would anyone agree to that? It's a mad, mad world. Why do people agree to bend the knee to blackmailers in general? Embarrassment? Shame? Fear's at the core of it all, really. And that fear was efficient enough to work on Powers. Trust me, though, it's not just Powers. That building's several stories tall. Plenty of that space is filled by people in a similar situation. And mind you, the people we're talking about aren't small fries. The idea here isn't to lock up some random Joe Schmo. No, we're talking about the remaining batch of the city's most influential. This prison was made to patch up the cracks in the roof. The warden's gone and built himself an attic while he was at it. Politics, entertainment, sport. The warden has, by proxy, now dipped his finger in all of it. Expanded his control beyond just the prison itself. Can you imagine it? Having a little map in front of you, and knowing where every important person in the city is at any given moment. Then have them come to you just so you can lock them away for the night. Before they can sleep, you get them to tell you all they saw and heard that day. With you, in turn, telling them what they should do next. It's complete control. And that's the kind of person the warden is. How does nobody know about this? Part of it is the warden knowing to pick people who really have no choice but to accept. Another is that he just knows how to keep things quiet in general. If the legislators that put this together know, the warden's likely pressuring them as well. Look at what I've done, how much power you've given me. You wouldn't want the public to know, right? The world's at the edge. Every drop could be the one that tops the cup. And this one could be the one that makes the really angry ones drag you through the streets. So you better just let me do what I want. What happens when you put dangerous people in positions of power? Hardly a surprise. We have to get them out. Get who out? The murderers who've been given a chance to lead an almost normal life. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to help you expose what's going on and risk going back to actual prison. Or are you talking about the ones under threat of being ruined the moment they escape? Well, by all means, Mr. Wright. I'm sure you'll cause a riot in no time. Why are you telling me this, then? We both know I'm no murderer, don't we? Well, I'm not exactly thrilled at the prospect of going back to prison. I'm not stupid enough to believe doing nothing here will make the world a better place. This program is going to be abused more and more and more. At some point, they'll run out of space. Ship me back to prison anyway. Have them make more room for bigger fish. Don't want to just get everyone out. I want more than that. I want this entire thing exposed. Bring it to an end. You understand? That's why we're having this conversation right now. Yeah, I understand. What about the murder? What happened with the murder was a mistake. A big one. Sure, the wardens covered it up well. The investigation was a sham passed over to the police department. Reporters were paid off. A patsy was chosen in powers. The trial brought attention to the building. One that brought you to it. I don't think there will be a better chance than this. You may not have wanted this. There's not much choice, I'm afraid. Wait too long and you'll end up locked in there as well. No doubt in my mind. Before that happens, I want you to bring it down, Mr. Wright. Me? How? Use Power's retrial to bring to light what the building really is. That's why it ended in the way it did. He used the stolen car suit to bring the case to court. It should, in the process, pave the way to the real killer. At the very least, it'll show Power's innocence. So you'll end up getting what you want, too. The real killer. Do you know who that is? Beats me. Truth be told, I can't say I care. Frankly, I like to give them a medal for killing Mata and Go. Ooh. Mata and Guard. Aha! Nobody will miss him when all is said and done. Or am I wrong? Well, the man who gave such a passionate defense of him shed a tear. It's not like that, it's just... he was murdered. Where was that respect for the dead when it came to Celeste, huh? Look, point is, I don't care who did him in. Whatever the reason was, we both know he had it coming. That is true. I feel like we really should give him any sort of consideration. If I had to guess, it was probably done on the warden's orders. Figure the details out on your own. I think I'm making my position very clear here. You are? Good. I've told you everything I know. Whatever you do from here is up to you. Can't promise we'll have a chance to speak again. The warden is aware you're Power's attorney. As I said, he knows I'm here. So he may very well punch me, lock me up for good. Maybe not. Maybe he'll even kill me. If I'm lucky. Miss Andrews. Save it. I don't want to hear it. I'll give you one last thing. You happen to know the guard posted at the entrance today. He happens to have a particular fondness for energy drinks. Sometimes I buy a bottle for him. Might get him one today. Might even take the liberty of putting a sleeping pill or two in it. Those pills may take effect very quickly and leave him like that for a little bit. Then someone might just slip through by sticking to the right-hand wall, avoiding cameras. Metal Gear. Power's cell number was 306. It should be empty. Not to think anything will necessarily still be there. Worth a shot. Do the right thing. That's all I ask. Goodbye, Mr. Wright. Make sure to leave the door open, okay? Just, what am I supposed to do, though? Metal Gear. Can we go back to the detention center? Come shoot. It can go back to the detention center. Is he gone? You okay there, Mr. Wright? Oh, Grace! You're looking a bit blue. Ah, Miss Powers. It's probably the light. Forgotten something? Something like that. There's a few things I'd like to ask your husband. You're a bit out of luck, then. He and I just finished talking. He had to go and get dinner. But I'm sure he'll be back soon enough. You two have been talking till now? Must have been quite the discussion. Not really. Or just general nonsense. Nonsense is good. Helps take the weight off things. Makes you forget you might be spending the rest of your life behind bars. Does it? Well, maybe. Oh? Cracking? None of my patients have ever found themselves in this situation, so I'm kind of winging it. I see. Truth be told, this whole situation has completely thrown my body off balance. The healthiest thing for me to do would be to step away from it all for a bit, but Will is a good man. I'm sticking by him until the end. Good on you, Grace. I'm sure he appreciates your support. Well, here's to hoping. I was hoping to get some answers from Mr. Powers. I guess for the time being, it might be useful to talk to his wife a bit. Alright. Oh, we got Madame Guard's profile now. Do you know Madame Guard? Doesn't really have much of an impact on me. But it doesn't have to. Let's talk about what this means to you. Hesitation? Are you analyzing me? Must not be important. Must not be as important as you believed. I would advise getting rid of it. A clean pocket equals a clean 9. Thanks, but I think I'll just... hold on to this for a bit more. Okay, let's just talk. Apartment building. Guess I forgot to give your husband my congratulations. I hadn't heard he even got married. Well, to be fair, Will's the kind of person you'd go at and keep an eye on. Especially not after the ratings for Steel Samurai took a hit. He keeps an even lower profile these days, given that he's currently managing a bar. So most reporters just don't care what he was up to. And no offense, but you were just his lawyer. I'm sure he's still grateful and all that, for that alone, but you know. I didn't really think it's something that gets you a wedding invitation. Of course not. I didn't mean to imply anything. There's just one thing I'm confused on, honestly. As I've understood it, Mr. Powers lived alone in that apartment. I'd have thought that he'd invite you along as well. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? I really don't get it even now. One morning he just said it was a good idea, that it'd help with work. Which doesn't really make any sense. That apartment is farther away from the bar than our actual home. No matter how much I pressed him about it, he refused to budge. He was being blackmailed, I see. So it doesn't seem she knows. The place is awful, too. I once tried to surprise him with a visit and got turned away at the entrance by a guard. Can you believe that? I couldn't see my own husband. I've never taken Will to be a secretive type, but it's obvious that he's hiding something. What do you think it's about? No clue. Well, I know it's not another woman at least. You sound pretty confident in that. Why wouldn't I? He knows that betraying me would lead to his ruin. What is the price of betrayal? Oh, how I love my husband. But he really is a moron sometimes. When we met, he was knee-deep in debt, you know? Your usual tale of bad investments. Such a large man pushed into such a tiny corner. The first time he told me, I thought to myself, as a natural healer, I have to help him. I liked him well enough, almost as much as I do now. Now, I might not look it, but I've amassed quite a decent fortune. In no small part because, as I've told you, I am a medical professional. Of course. A surgeon. Well, technically not anymore, but I digress. Anyway, point is, I held the solution to his problem. So I decided to go with the best route possible for both of us. I proposed. Made it clear that, if he agrees to marry me, I'd loan him the money he needed. Oh. Huh. Remember it like it was yesterday. Can you believe that he needed a week to consider? Well, as I've said, he does have a bit of a moronic side to him. Well, all's well that ends well, right? He accepted, and here we are. So you see, he can't betray me, because then we'd have to get a divorce, and then he'd need to return the money I invested in him with interest. Wow. That's kind of twisted. Ah, I really do love my husband. That is really kind of twisted. We're a team, you know? He was initially a bit hesitant to the idea of managing a bar, but I said, do it. And voila, he did. I'm so proud of him, you know? What? What a beautiful love story. It's so beautiful. It's love. It must be love. He's not perfect by any means. Men in general have proven themselves to be nothing if not flawed. Even so, I do love him. I would very much like it if he didn't spend the rest of his life in a cell. Ironically, if that hadn't happened, there's a very good chance he would have anyway. Are you, perchance, interested in natural healing, Mr. Wright? Not in particular, no. Oh? Do you believe yourself to be in perfect health, then? You could say I'm pretty resistant. Nobody's Superman. Eventually something will ail you. And it will likely happen regardless of what techniques you show me, right? What were we talking about? Mr. Wright, it's hardly appropriate to be hitting on a married woman. Huh? Now you are quite fine looking, but keeping a photo of yourself in your wallet? Definite turn off. What about a photo of Adrian? Nothing. What about a photo of Grossberg? Ugh, that useless man. Couldn't have been bothered to lift a finger to help Will during that trial. I have a better understanding of why now, if nothing else. What about Gumshoe? The detective in charge was at least civil. Not that I forgive him. He still stole Will away from me. Now I'm left in a state of discomfort, Mr. Wright. My body hurts, and it's not from any illness. I do wonder if I should consider transferring that pain over to someone else. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. Please don't. I like being alive. Don't know how you'll take this, but I've never liked lawyers. Well, not too surprising. Most TV shows back in the day made us out to be weirdos out to ruin the police's day. And let the culprit get away with it. Well, that part is definitely not in the job description, but yeah, it can sometimes happen. I don't really like to think about that possibility, though. What if Will did it, though? Would you still help him? I don't think so. Hardly professional. Yeah, well, I guess I'm not a professional then. While we're on the subject, I guess. Do you think your husband? Yeah. It's a mouthful. Do you think your husband didn't do it? Does it matter? Not to you, obviously. I'm still his wife, aren't I? Is this what I'm supposed to do? I don't think I'm the one you should be asking those questions. I found the answers a while ago. I just want you to understand. I don't care who he killed. I just want him out. Wow, alright then. I think we've gotten all we're gonna get from you, Grace. Is Grossberg back? He is still here, but we have nothing else really to talk to him about. What about Matt on guard? Nothing. I think we're done talking to Grossberg. Let's go back. We can go back to the entrance now. Oh boy, here we go. Right. I guess I'm really doing this. Just breathe. Here we go. The door's open. So I guess Miss Andrews. The guard. He's... Right. Better be fast then. Right hand wall. Got it. 306, go, go. There's still probably other cameras all around the place. Bound to get spotted eventually. Only a matter of time before someone finds the guy like this. Gotta be careful. Careful's supposed to be my middle name, right? This place might as well be a dungeon. Bigger on the inside than the outside. Third floor. Seems like I'm on the right floor. Where is Mr. Power's cell, I guess? Whoa, okay. See, this is... No, this is cell 317. The door I'm looking for should be. So they really are across from each other. 306, that's the one. And locked. Of course. I don't know why I expected anything else, actually. Now what, genius? If there's someone coming to get me with my pants down any moment now. And there's Misty Faye. There's Amy Faye. You're looking a bit lost, Mr. Wright. Huh? The cell across the hall. Please, do come in. It'd be a shame if we couldn't have a little chat. These are all supposed to be criminals in here, right? Well, not all, but still a prison, right? I assure you, I have no means of hurting you. And even if I did, it wouldn't be beneficial to me, you see. Still, it's up to you. His voice. We've definitely met before. Shut the door. Have a seat. Tea? I never did get a chance to really talk back then. Hey. After all, I wasn't even in court when you made that ghastly accusation. Was I? Mrs. Faye. I go by something a bit different these days. Oh, Morgan Faye. My bad. Amy was the founder. So it's refreshing to hear my own name for a change. So let's go with that. What was ghastly about it? I don't know what gives you the right to call what I accused you of ghastly. It was the truth. You tried to frame Maya for murder. Tried and failed. Don't forget that part. I have no intention of causing you harm. As I'm sure you're well aware, I'm not in a position to... I suggest we let bygones be bygones for the time being, yes? Suggested has been considered and dismissed. Hate me as you like. I'm really making it clear I bear no ill will toward you. You were only doing your job, as would anyone. What about Maya? Do you still want her harmed? You wouldn't believe me if I said I didn't. Which I suppose would be fine, since I'd be lying. Oh, lovely. I don't want this conversation to turn sour so quickly, though. especially when we have more important matters to discuss. I'll be the judge of that, I think. But of course, good sir. You certainly enjoy flashing that thing around, don't you? I don't know if enjoy is the right word. Now, there's no need to be modest. You take pleasure in your work. Perfectly natural. You enjoy the idea of crushing people under your feet, do you not? Watching as what little control they believe they'd had slips from their fingers. Making quite a few assumptions about me. But Mr. Wright, that is exactly what defending your client comes down to, does it not? It's you against the world. Celebrating your client's acquittal is to celebrate a victory against the world. I think you're projecting. I think you're not honest with yourself. I think we should change the subject. I think you're a sad little man that ruins lives he has no right ruining. I think you're a delusional, power-hungry hag. Goddamn! Wow. That escalated quickly. Yes, let's change the subject. Holy shit. Yes, Mr. Wright, I am indeed perfectly aware it is you who stands before me. What about Will? What a shame the fact that they happen to choose him. Plain bad luck. And again, even as one of the outsiders, he would have been the most logical choice. He knew the victim, did he not? Even beyond that, he wasn't acquiring nearly as much information as the warden wanted. Oh. Needed a swig of water. Gathered information? You didn't know? The reason the warden had chosen him, as I understand it, is because of that bar of his. The warden took interest in some of its patrons and wanted to use it to gather information. So that's it, is it? As for what the warden used to coerce him to enter in the first place, I do not know. We don't share things like that amongst each other, for obvious reasons. Ooh. Do you know his wife? I've heard that he was married. Mr. Powers. She's quite the lovely thing, isn't she? She is a very, She's never been here? Obviously not. Spouses are somewhat of a nuisance for the warden, but he deals with them efficiently. By which I, of course, mean that he pressures his prisoners to get them off his back. I imagine just as much. Gumshoe. What do you make of this, Miss Fay? I think we have more important things to discuss. Did you even look at it? Fair enough. You're probably not wrong. Let's give you... Adrian? Ah, her, I know. In passing, at least. Suppose I shouldn't be surprised the defense attorney knows so many criminals, should I? Oh, okay, fair enough. What about Matt? I still have to wonder why he believed he could walk out of here alive. Oh, the warden, you will find, does not take kindly to threats. On guard was too used to getting what he wanted. I don't think he really knew the kind of opponent he was going up against. Maybe he just overestimated himself too much. Also likely. Someone worse than on guard. No offense, but I was told only prisoners with some leftover contribution to society were brought here. And I should take offense. Where? The only reason I went as far as I did was in part because of my lack of such contribution. Then, what are you giving the warden? Why am I here? The warden disagrees with our assessment of my usefulness. For my marriage to the Fae clan, I was married to a fairly influential man. A man who had no qualms of leaving me at the first sign of trouble. Ah yes, Dahlia and Iris's father. But let us not get into that. The point is that this man still holds the same power he did back then. The warden believes I will be able to divulge some interesting piece of information regarding him. So you're here to give out blackmail material. I assume the warden plans to invite him to this place sometime in the future. Well now, that's hardly for me to know. But yes, most likely. And? Have you given him what he wants? Come now, Mr. Wright. You might have caught me, but it wasn't for my inability to think. The moment I tell the warden what he wants to know, there will be no use for me. I'll be sent back to prison, locked away to ensure I can't tell anyone of what happened here. Or worse yet, I might just end up like Mr. On Guard. You know what happened to him? It's somewhat of an open secret around here. He'd recognized one of the prisoners on their new job. Tracked them to this place, took a very good guess what it was, and then got the bright idea to try and extort the warden in exchange for his silence. Unfortunately for him, the warden is not one to bow down to threats. Unlike the innocent people the warden drags in here. Oh, Mr. Wright, they are hardly innocent. The only difference between me and them is that their sins aren't well known. In my opinion, this may very well be where they belong. Not Mr. Powers. Are you certain? If that were true, the warden would have never been able to pressure him to come here. Anyway, the warden is surrounded with so many others at his disposal. Against such a force, who wouldn't relent? Mr. On Guard was a fool. One man can't stand up to such a force. That's why attempting the task alone is futile. The warden, and by extension the guards, are well aware of your plan for Mr. Powers. One of them happened to talk about it near my cell. I understand the gist, and I want to help. So is that it? You're scared of dying, so you want to help me take this place down. Don't be naive. I do intend to help you, of course. My reasons are much more practical. Oh. What are your reasons? If things are left unchecked, and the warden will continue to amass more and more influential people, correct? At one point or another. That is certain to involve the master of the Curé. And that I simply cannot allow. My daughter will someday take that place. Thought of her ending up in a place like this. It's an understatement to say that this isn't the life I want for her. I'm sure you don't either. What's your plan then? What's your proposal then? Proposal? I don't necessarily have one. I'm merely offering my assistance for any future plans, along with some information. For example, nobody's ever seen the warden. At least most of the people here haven't. Prisoners haven't, along with most of the staff. He seems to surround himself with only a handful of people he trusts. Getting him out into the open will likely be quite difficult. And yet I have no doubt that by doing just that, you will have the best odds. Here is something else you might find of interest. It is merely a rumor, but apparently, the warden is actually a convicted criminal himself. Oh, that's interesting. Use that fact as you wish. Finally, and this may be the most helpful in my opinion. Mr. On Guard was killed in one of the cells, not in that car. According to the person residing in the cell next to the one the murder happened in, at least. And they put his body in Powers' car and drove him away, I assume. Prisoners have their cars stored in their own garages, but the warden can open whichever he wants. Oh wow, since keys are required to be left in ignition as well, he can also use them. Wow, that's... I see. I'm just more and more shocked at how well put together the first part of the trial actually was. making it seem like a legitimate apartment building with just random oddities coming out. With the garage, the super remote the warden had, the super keycard the warden had. Goddamn. Just dropping all the hints about the warden invading everyone's privacy, and then just fucking trial cliffhanger on the bombshell that it's actually a fucking prison. Just wow, wow. What use that would be of you is beyond me, but I figured you'd be appreciative. I do. Thank you. I am appreciative. If you need any further help, you know where to find me. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other again soon. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Actually, a convicted criminal himself. That's interesting. Is he actually someone that we've recognized? We would recognize. Is the warden red-white? It better not be fucking red-white. We can get out of here, maybe? Oh, okay. We're done with Morgan Fay. Hey. Hey, you. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Stop! I don't think negotiating will work with these people. I have to get out of here. Hey, I said stop! Oh, fuck. Now I've done it. There's no way they won't eventually track me down. Clock started. I need a plan. Police Department. Criminal Affairs. Gumshoe! Gumshoe! Oh, you again, pal. I'm just about to head out for the day. What's up? I need... Whoa, slow down there. You okay? I'm fine. I need some luminol. And, those glasses that you can see it with. And a camera. Need a camera. Huh? I don't know about just giving that out, you know? Only borrow it, please. What are we testing? It's important. Well, alright, I guess. But you better bring it back quick. You'll have it back in 2 days. Promise. Alright, what are we doing? Office is probably the safer option. They know I know about the prison. They know I want to expose it. If they're after me, they'll probably wait for me at my apartment. But did they know that Adrian was here? I've locked everything up. Should be okay. Okay, I'm okay. Just need to stop and think about this. First. Oh? Unknown caller. Totally not spooky at all. Well, I guess it's hardly spooky if you have an idea who it could be. Nah, scratch that. I'm still pretty creeped out. Good evening. Am I speaking to Mr. Wright? A voice modulator. Speaking? Oh. We are changing perspective. Hello, Mr. Wright. My name is Horace Finnegan. I am the landlord of a little apartment building. I believe you visited it recently. I bet you're worried. My apologies. I don't know what you've heard, but I'm sure it's given you a wrong impression. I have no intentions of hurting you, you see. That's so. Oh, Mr. Wright, please. Let's be honest here. Anything you may or may not do depends entirely on you getting that retrial. But for a retrial to happen, some new piece of information has to come to light. What do you have, though? An insufficient police investigation? Let me tell you right now, the department will never own up to it. You yelling, "Hey, apartments are actually a prison!" Good luck with that. As you might have heard, I am friends with a few reporters. Some of them are even my guests here. That's fucked up. As for Miss Andrews, I assure you no harm will befall her. Well, I'll have to revoke some of her privileges. She likely won't leave her cell in a long while. Damn. I feel pity. She was doing quite well at her new job, you know. But that's my job, right? As a warden. Insubordination has to be punished in some way. All of that said, a word of advice. Stay out of this. It'd be better for everyone. You live alone, Mr. Wright. You haven't been seen or heard by many in 2 years now. Who would notice if I just took you and locked you up? That's fucked up. That's right, nobody. I'm glad you understand. That's fucked up. You do understand, don't you? Why do all this? Oh, come on now. Oh. Did you just hang up? Ma'am? Everything okay? Please excuse yourself. I need a moment. What? Ma'am? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Excuse me? I need to look at this again. Whoa, okay, we're back. We're just going right back into it. We're just going right back into this, huh? Okay. I need a moment to revisit that last picture again, see what I can make of it. Voice modulator. Is Horace Finnegan not a real person? And that's why the voice modulator being used? Is the, is that the... I have to look at that picture closer once I end this video, but was that the director lady who killed, Jack Hammer in the first Steel Samurai case? I forget her name offhand, but, it was kind of hard to see in that light, but, that's the first impression I got from that image. But holy shit! What the fuck just happened?